Hello everyone. Today I want to explain control structure in programming. So basically, control structure in programming has three types. The first one is sequence, second one is selections, and the third one is repetitions. So today I want to focus about selection control structure. Before that, I want to show you a concept about selection.
Selections are a bit different. Instead of following a specific order of events, they ask a question in order to figure out which path to take next. Let's say you go to brush your teeth and you find that you're out of toothpaste. You'd then ask, do I have any more toothpaste? If the answer is no, then you would add it to your shopping list. But if the answer is yes, then you would just use the toothpaste. This is really all a selection is doing, answering a question based on what it finds.
So the selection control structure has three types. The first one is single selections, which is use single if. Second one is dual selection, which is use if else. And the third one is multiple selections, which is use if, else, if, and else. Now, what is single selections? In single selections, it will check the conditions to perform actions. If condition is true, it will perform actions. If condition is false, it skips and do nothing, or maybe the program will stop. So this is the pseudocode general formats and flowchart general format for the single selections. Okay, so as you can see here, so we have if followed by the conditions, and then after that followed by the action statements, and then an if, and then if you convert it into flowchart, so the conditions here we put in the diamond shape, but we do not have to write the if statement in the diamond shapes. And then if the condition is true, okay, we do the actions, okay, and then the action here is not necessary, the process, okay, it may an output, okay, and then false is stop. For example, print the message you are entitled to vote for a person whose age is above 20. So as you can see here, there are options, right? The program will print you are entitled to vote if the age is above 20. So the IPO analysis, so the input here is age, process is determine the eligibility of the vote based on age, and then the output is either message you are entitled to vote or nil. So when we convert it into pseudocode, okay, so we start, okay, input read age, and then the if statement, okay, if, and then followed by the condition age greater than 20, and then if the condition is true, the program will print you are entitled to vote. If false, you go to stop. Okay, and every if statement, okay, must end with an if, and then should not be any if statement after the an if. And if we convert it into flowchart, so as you can see here, the input, okay, we put in the parallelogram shape, okay, and then the if statement and the conditions, okay, we put in the diamond shape, okay. The difference is we do not need to write the if in the diamond shape, Okay, in the diamond step we just put the conditions only, and if true, okay, so it will print you are entitled to vote. If false, it will stop. So the difference between pseudocode and flowchart is in the flowchart you need to write the true and false, whereas in the pseudocode you don't need to write the true and false. Okay, it is understood that whatever statements after the if statement is an actions if the condition is true. Okay, so you don't need to write the true and false in the pseudocode. For the dual selections will check one condition to choose between two actions. If condition is true, then perform action 1. Otherwise, if condition is false, then perform action 2. So this is the general format of pseudocodes and the flowcharts of the dual selections. In pseudocode, if conditions is true, do the action once, else it will do the actions 2 and if. And for the flowchart, if the conditions true, it will do the action once, false, it will do the action 2. For example, find if a number is odd or even. If the number is odd, then display message odd number, otherwise display message even number. So the problem analysis, the input here is number, process is display message odd number or message even number based on the number, and the output is odd number or even number. And the pseudocode, start, read number. If number is divisible by 2, print message even number, else print message odd number, and if, and then stop. And if we convert it into flowchart, so start, read number, number divisible by 2. So if true, we print even number, and then if false, we print odd number and then stop. So if you compare in the dual selections with the single selections, the difference here is in the false statement. Okay, for the single selection, if false, then it go to stop. Okay, but for the dual selections, it have an actions. Okay, for the false conditions. For the multiple selections control structure check many conditions to choose between many actions. Condition will be checked one by one. When condition is true, it will perform the actions and stop checking the rest. So this is the general format for pseudocode in multiple selections. So if condition 1, action 1, else if condition 2, actions 2, else if conditions 3, action 3, and then else, and then action 4. And this is the format for the flowchart in multiple selections. For example, create a program to accept a number from the user and to determine whether the number is positive, negative, or 0. So the output here is positive number or negative number or 0 number. And the process is and the input is number, and then process is to determine whether the number is positive, negative, or 0 based on number. So the pseudocode is start, input number. So if number greater than 0, print positive, else if number less than 0, print negative, else print 0, and if, and then stop. Now, if number greater than 0, if the condition here is true, meaning that it will print positive and then stop. Okay, but if the condition here is false, okay, it will goes to the second conditions, else if. Okay, so if the second condition here is true, it will print negative, but if the condition here is false, it will goes to the else statement, which is print 0. So if we convert it into flowchart, okay, so start, input number in parallelogram shapes, and then the first conditions, number greater than 0, so it's true, print positive. Okay, if false, then it will check another conditions, which is number less than 0. So if true, then it will print negative, and then false, okay, it will print 0. So as you can see here, if you have 3 actions, then you must have two conditions. Okay, because if the number is not positive, it may be negative or 0. But if the number is also not negative, it will confirm that it was 0. For example, a human gender. If it's not a boy, then it must be a girl.